Welcome. I'm Heather, and about 2 years ago, I had a health scare that propelled me on a path to wellness. Not long after an autoimmune diagnosis, I began exploring ways to optimize my health, which eventually led me to the study of physics, psychology, functional medicine, and different spiritual and wellness modalities. For me, the act of getting better was connected to rewilding and listening to the needs of my body and spirit. This initial exploration was the birthing ground for this YouTube channel. Last summer, things took a turn. My husband and I took the first step toward the life we've been dreaming about since our honeymoon. We sold our house, left our jobs, and moved to Colorado, not really knowing if we'd be able to make a go of it. A few months later, we found and purchased 36 acres, our dream property. These days, I'm sharing a glimpse of our transition from a fast-paced lifestyle to slow living. If you're interested in seeing our ranch life come together, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. So something that has consistently been coming up for me over the last few days has been all of the different practices and routines that I put in place to try to cause small shifts in my life, particularly towards moving into a more healthier lifestyle. One such change was giving up coffee, which I absolutely loved, but really was causing an overabundance of cortisol in my system and was really, I guess, counterproductive in the long run. These days I drink nettle tea first thing in the morning, and I purchase it at natural grocers. I hope to one day to be able to grow it myself, but for now, this really works for me. I have noticed that since we've moved to Colorado, I really let a lot of my routines fall by the wayside, and I think that has been really challenging just in terms of not only setting down firm roots here, but also just dealing with the fact that we are still living in boxes and Rubbermaid containers. But overall, I think trying to get back to those routines and practices that have not only helped me manage my health, but also just kind of enabled me to really stay firmly rooted and grounded during this time. That's certainly something that I want to be focused on in the coming weeks, as I know that we're getting a lot closer to moving out to the land, and I think it's going to be really important to try to maintain some semblance of normalcy during that time, because I think it will ultimately, though wonderful, and certainly the culmination of what we want to achieve, or at least the beginning stages of that, it's still going to be challenging. I think there's not only going to be a lot of physical work that we're going to have to do, but I think just in terms of having less access to certain amenities that we've really grown accustomed to. We've been very lucky that even though we are living out of boxes, we've had to give up very little just in terms of getting settled here, and that is probably all going to change once we get out to the land. In fact, it will definitely change once we get out to the land. So I'm trying to start small this week, trying to set aside time specific time to write early in the morning, have my nettle tea. I have been writing, but I really have not stuck to a schedule. And yeah, so I just really want to get back to that. So I am trying to check and see if there are any jobs that I need to apply for. I try to put out at least 2 to 4 freelance proposals a day, and then also look for just any permanent positions that I can do remotely. And then from there, I really am trying to just establish more of a consistent time frame for my own writing projects. I have a couple of things in the works right now, and I really like being able to oscillate between both of those, primarily just because if I'm trying to work on one and I am finding myself getting like hung up or stuck on moving forward, or just like my creative juices are not flowing at all, then I can kind of shift gears and move to something that is more technical in nature. And that's been really good because it helps me feel accomplished. And, you know, regardless of how far I get on one project or the other, just that freedom and flexibility to move between them has been really beneficial and has kind of kept me from procrastinating, which generally is my go-to when I find creativity to be challenging. So this is Hades. He is the last of our kittens who needs to be fixed, neutered, as they say. And he's miserable. Back over here in the corner, we have Clover. He's already been fixed, but Hades decided to hitch a ride on the car that day and missed his appointment. He also spent the night in freezing temperatures on the side of the highway. So, but he's really struggling. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this local honey and hopefully transfer it without making too big of a mess. Oh boy. Later I need to take some garlic and create like a honey and garlic infusion. But it's just really not usable in this large container. So I use honey a lot and maple and coconut sugar when I need something sweet. I probably use more honey than I should. I don't know, it's hard to say. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of leave it there, I think. Not bad. I'm impressed with myself. I usually don't manage to do that so cleanly. So I usually clean the bottle you know, wipe it down, try to keep it clean as best I can. It is a little sticky, but I'm going to get the sticky off. Okay, so I'm hoping I did not burn this toast. So by and large, I struggle with gluten and dairy. I tend to be okay with a little bit of, this is Amish butter that I buy from the local store. I like to use a little bit of that. I like really crispy sourdough, and I can get a brand that has like, I don't know, it's got like 3 ingredients in it. I tend not to have a reaction to this. However, any other types of breads, like the kind that my husband likes, for example, like it's just, I don't know, like I can't do it. I seem to have more of a reaction, of course, to dairy and grains than gluten. Sorry, you hear the cats in the background. I have 3 of them, and 2 of them are going to the vet, so I have their boxes out, and they're kind of playing and messing around. Just 1 second. Yeah, we buy our Amish butter in a large, like, roll. And then I usually keep a little bit on the counter for spreading. It's cool enough here, it doesn't seem to be an issue. So I just like to drizzle a little honey on it. Not a lot. Keep it under control. And then I like some salt, sea salt flakes. Gotta be the flakes. I like the flakes. Sometimes I use almond butter, but this is just a little nice sweet treat. I don't know why, but my blueberries, ooh, there they go. Look a little fat today. The cats are also mad because I took away their food. One of them needs to get fixed, and another needs shots. So we're headed up into the mountains to see the horse vet. But I'm pretty sure she knows they're not horses. Although she does keep asking, is it a neuter or a spay? So then I like to put some blueberries on here. I really load it up too. And then, I don't know, depending on how filling this is, I may make an egg. Eat an egg with some serrano sauce drizzled over the top. My voice is going in and out. I wish I could open this blind for you. It's about to snow. The blind is broken. So I'm not able to do that. Okay, that's probably more than enough. And then, yeah. So that is my sweet breakfast treat. Well, I am taking the boys to the vet, and we're getting like deep up in these mountains. So I just kind of wanted to show you. So this is out like past our house. I don't know if you can even hear me. I may have to do a voiceover. But this is out like past our house. And as you can see, it just gets deeper and deeper into the mountain range. Okay, I think I'm coming up on something. Oh, am I getting close? Maybe. All right, boys, hang on. It's gonna be good. It is gorgeous out here, but a storm is coming, so try to get the cats their shots and get Hades fixed before everything shuts down for the storm. At least in my case, it shuts down because I am not used to this weather yet. So look at all the trees out here. And there's a school bus. Wow. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now because I feel like I'm coming up on somebody's house. Okay, not yet. We still have time. There's quite a bit of vegetation out here. Wow. The mountains are just gorgeous. We had a pretty significant snow. I know, Hades. I know, Clover. And it stayed on the ground for about 2 or 3 days, which I haven't seen yet out here. But I've heard this is a pretty modern area in terms of that. Like, it'll snow for sure and get cold, but that it melts quickly because we're at the base. Like, we're not like up in the mountains, but getting up there now. All right. I don't know if you can tell how gorgeous that is, but this is one of the reasons we moved out here. The views are just stunning. Cattle gate. Okay, so that was slightly traumatizing. So that was really interesting being in a country vet because it was really awesome, you know, like to be in her home, of course. And she was fantastic. But, you know, usually you turn your cat over, you leave, and everything that happens to them, you're just not privy to. And today, for me, that was not the case. I was able to watch the entire procedure and see the effects of anesthesia. And yeah, it's just not something to take lightly, though in this case it was definitely necessary to make life more livable. I really was not sure how this was going to turn out, or I would have recorded it, but I found a recipe on Pinterest and I kind of tweaked it a bit and ended up with this lovely sirloin pork roast with carrots and onions and Brussels sprouts and garlic. Lovely with a nice honey glaze. I also made some dark chocolate brownies with chips in it and some garlic bread. Don't know, got a little bit more time left on it. Let's see. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. kinda. That's nice. Okay, maybe a couple more minutes. Oh. Here is my roast. Oof, I can't wait to dig in. So the honey glaze has apple butter in it. In addition to, of course, honey, a little bit of coconut aminos, salt and pepper, and garlic. That may be about it. As soon as that bread's done, I'm going to get these brownies in the oven. I have wanted to find an alternative to conventional shampoos and conditioners for quite some time, and I came across this recipe to basically reset the scalp and cleanse it in a more natural fashion. Here I'm using some baking soda, a tablespoon of that, I believe a tablespoon or two of the aloe vera gel, and I'm also going to go ahead and add in a little bit more of that just because I have a lot of hair. And I'm going to add in some apple cider vinegar. I think in the future, based on the reaction of the baking soda and the apple cider vinegar together, I will actually probably add the ACV first and then slowly add in the rest of the ingredients, just because, as you can see, there is like some foaming action going on. However, it doesn't seem to be much of an issue, and I will say that this was my favorite part of this whole new hair routine. I loved the way that this felt on my scalp. I literally could feel it cleansing it and soothing it at the same time. I went ahead and for this batch I added some rosemary and lavender, and I'm also going to add in some water as well, just 2 cups, and I didn't add very much. I think I added 10 drops of lavender and 5 to 7 of the rosemary. And again, I loved this. I used it, and then after I put the rinse on, I rinsed it very, very well in lukewarm water, and then I used the remainder and did a double rinse, and it really was fantastic. So I am just reusing an old body wash bottle to make it easier to pour onto the scalp. So yeah, I'd be curious to hear from you if you are using any substitutes for conventional shampoos and conditioners. This is something that I'm going to keep using probably monthly. I've since switched to a shampoo bar that I picked up at Trader Joe's that I absolutely love, but I still like this ACV rinse to use on a monthly basis. So now I'm making a conditioner, and I'm using about 2 to 3.5 tablespoons of coconut oil. I'm also adding in some more of the lavender and the rosemary. Really just about 5 drops of each. I'm also going to put in a tablespoon of honey. And then I'm going to mix this in really well. I like to put my intentions into this. I like to not only think about the purpose of why I'm making this concoction, but I also like to say some self-love affirmations and stir that into the ingredients. Now, since I've actually used this, I do really like it a lot, but I don't think that I will use it as a traditional conditioner in the future. It was really, really difficult to rinse out. In the future, I think that I would use this as a deep conditioner the day prior to rinsing my hair with the ACV treatment. It is super hydrating and nourishing for the hair, so I'm not discounting it. I just think that I would use it in a different way in the future. Hi folks, I just wanted to show you what I've been using for my skin. My face wash I've used pretty consistently since I broke up with makeup in 2012. Hopefully you can get a good angle of that. Not everyone can use this if you have extremely sensitive skin, although I do, but the tea tree does not seem to really bother me. If anything, it's really prevented a lot of breakouts that I used to have, and has even evened out my skin tone a bit. And in addition to that, I think it's really helped heal some of the scarring, not all of it, on the sides here, but pretty close. And so I've used this pretty consistently. It's Desert Essence. No, this is not sponsored. I wish. But this is Desert Essence. It's thoroughly clean. I think what makes it so great for me is it doesn't really have, any chemicals or anything like that. It's non-GMO. But it's the awapui and the tea tree oil combination, I think, that makes such an impact on my particular skin type. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wash my face, but I'm going to do that part off camera because it's messy, and then we're going to get into my bag of tricks. Okay, so let's see, where did it go? I've already done a surface rinse. But I did want to show you that I do like to use this Echo tool, like scrub. This wants to come out. You can see it's even a little foamy. Try not to get all wet, but I always use an organic cotton washcloth. And what I like to do is, I'm covering it. What I like to do is just, scrub the face. Not overly hard, but I do like to get in there. Okay, so I'm just going to rinse this, and then I'm going to pat dry with my organic washcloth. And when I rinse, although I am a sucker for really hot water, I'm actually going to end up not doing that. Once I get by the sink, I'm also going to get my neck and chest area. But what I'm going to opt for instead of that really hot water is lukewarm, which I think is okay for winter. Okay, so I really do like using this Echo Tool scrubber, and I have my, did I say this? I don't know if I did, I'll have to cut it out. But I have my hair up because I did my ACV baking soda rinse that you saw earlier in this video. And I did really like it. I actually felt it soothing my scalp as I used it. But the conditioner was a bit heavy for me, so I think in the future I would first use a lot less, probably used way too much. I would not put it on the scalp at all and only put it on the shaft of the hair. And then I'm thinking I will wrap it overnight and do that as like a step prior to my wash, and see if that works better for me. I did end up using some jojoba on the tips of my hair, and I did really like that. So I'm going to probably look more closely at that. Maybe that's an oil that's more suitable. Okay, so now that I've washed my face, let's see, I gotta just grab something. So I do have these organic cotton rounds that I use to put on. This is another brand that I really like. This is Derme Essentials. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I have used them as long as I've used Desert Essence. So since 2012, primarily with them though, like what I started using was their tea tree and vitamin E relief cream on my skin as a moisturizer. This has been fantastic because, as you can see, like I have really sensitive skin, and sometimes just a scratch can like nick my skin, and this is very healing for me, so I like to use that. But I have added some other products as I've aged, you know, like of course like their Ultra Lift Firming Moisturizer is really nice. This has copper peptides. I sound like a commercial. They are not sponsoring me. So I want to finish out these, but after I finish this package of cotton rounds, like I'm actually going to be switching to these bamboo rounds, and I can wash these in the sink or in my shower with me, let them air dry, and then they'll be ready for another use. So I'm almost out of this toner, but this is the Radiance Toner. It's got a glycolic acid and rooibos in it. So yeah, there's that. Let's grab this. Okay, so I'm just gonna give that like a little shake before I start using these bamboo ones. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this package. I'm really trying to go less waste, but it is a process. Like I want to use up what I have, obviously, for obvious reasons, before I go, you know, make the complete transition. But I am looking for ways to go no waste. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Like nice little organic cotton pad. Cotton is one of the or one of the highest sprayed crops in pesticides, so it's one of the things that you want to be really careful with. It is a natural material, and we love that about cotton, but it can be, you know, really have like a lot of chlorine and dyes and sprays, and this is free of that. So this is like super hydrating, and one of the things I've noticed out here is it's like so much drier in Colorado. So I do wash my face more, which can seem counterproductive, but it's important because of the wind as well, just because it's also windy and a lot of dirt kicks up. I do try to use natural products. So I do like to use food on my face where I can, but I like to create like an oatmeal and honey, the little bit of water like a paste or exfoliant for my skin, and then I like to use a yogurt and honey and flaxseed mask as well for my skin. It's really a lot more hydrating. I've kind of gotten out of the habit of that. So one of the things that I like to do at this point is, before I seal in, today I think I'm going to use Old Faithful, since I have this nick here on my neck. But before I use that and seal in everything that I put on my face, I do have to take the cat to the vet. If you hear him crying, I apologize. So I want to get some sunblock in. I like to use Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. I also use their glow stick if I'm out hiking. And I like their bright-eyed eye cream as well. Before I put that on, I do have some doTERRA tightening serum that I'm going to use. And I'm going to try to only use my fingertips. I'm really bad at feeling like pressed for time and I need to hurry this process up. But part of the point of taking care of your skin is not only the nourishing aspects, you know, it does need to be nourished, but also it's important as an act of self-love. And the massage component really gets the lymphatic system going, at least for me. I find that's true, and sometimes I like to do a little tapping just to kind of wake everything up. And serum can be a little sticky. I don't really like that. At least that one is, so I'm going to be looking for something a little bit different maybe to use in the future, but like I said, I want to use everything that I have up. Alright, so there is an app, Dirty Talk maybe? There are like a few that will tell you, particularly when it comes to beauty products, what is in them, and they will give it a rating and kind of let you know. And Supergoop is one that comes out pretty clean. And what I like about this is, although I don't wear makeup anymore, that breakup has been pretty solid other than my wedding. I do like this because it is tinted. So when I have to go out, no one has to look at my dark circles. Hopefully start sleeping better soon. So yeah, I'm just trying to dab this. So because it's tinted, I don't know, maybe it's not like super liquid. Or so, got a little bit down there on my chin. Okay. So that should be good. I'm going to use that pad to get some of the sticky off my hands from that serum. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and put on my sunscreen. It's a little much, but I'm going to put it on my chest, my neck, and just all the exposed skin that you see. So I'm just going to kind of pat it on my face. I really love this skin. It's sunscreen. It's SPF 40. It's soft and smooth, but it doesn't have like a greasy look, and it absorbs nicely. So now I'm going to take the rest of it and just kind of rub it up my neck. I am going to wear a different shirt, but still, like if there's anything exposed, I want to make sure that we got it covered with that sunscreen. I love that stuff. Gosh, it's so good. Supergoop, call me. I'm your girl. Okay. Now, final step, we're going to seal all this in and get that nice glow. I like a wet look on my face. What do they call that? Like a glazed donut. So I use quite a bit. You do you. This is really not a tutorial. I just really kind of want to share what I do. I may have broken up with makeup, but I have a love affair with moisturizing my skin. So I'm hoping that after this my hair will be mostly dry. I can finger comb it and use my boar bristle brush to get it up into a bun, which is really the only protective style I know. While I go take this poor cat. He is so ready to go to the bed. Okay, so that's pretty much me. That's what I do. And that vitamin E and tea tree moisturizer is probably going to clear that up. A lot of people who have eczema and psoriasis, this is great. So great. So the other thing I'll do before I leave the house is I'm going to put some SPF Sun Bum lip balm on. I did also get some other Supergoop products because, like I said, I love them. One is Unseen Screen, which is for your hands. And then the other one is a Play lip balm. So I might try that. But you can see the weather gets very dry here, so I try to keep that on daily. Until then, I do have some coconut oil. I don't know if I can open it. It's hot from the heater being on in here. Let's see. I do like to do this from time to time. Yeah, and then I'll put some sunscreen chapstick on before I leave the house. So that's pretty much it. That's what I've been doing. I really want to get like a good eye cream because I do notice my skin is getting thinner. Of course, I'm aging. So, but other than that, finding a new serum that's going to be more natural. Probably going to be using jojoba oil in the future. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'll let you know. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll give you an update as my routine evolves. Reconnecting to the routines that have been nourishing for my spirit and body over the last 2 years as I've navigated my wellness has seemed vital over the last week. Perhaps it's because we're not quite settled, or because we're in a holding pattern with the land. Either way, I'm grateful for this time, the calm before the building begins. Over the last few weeks, I've learned not to push it. It seems the more I do, the further I end up from my goals. Instead, I'm practicing being in the state of flow, being open to however the journey wishes to unfold, allowing whatever gifts the universe bestows. Until next time, I hope that you'll take a step towards leading an intentional life.